only reason that question gets asked is because everyone here knows that I'm a black belt in Tae Kwon, and I always find parallels between martial arts and the rest of my life. So in this case, we'll say energy modeling is managing and understanding an ecosystem. You push in here, it comes out there. All the heating is connected to the cooling, is connected to the lighting, is connected to the controls. In the martial arts arena, we'll just say this is a sparring situation where I'm busy trying to spar and test my skills against another worthy opponent, and there's a constantly moving set of parameters. Your position changes, you're going to kick now and I'm going to punch underneath it or something like that. Actually it'd be the opposite. I punch on top, kick underneath. And so there's a whole ecosystem, and it involves balance, it involves understanding the principles of what you're trying to do. So there's physics involved. These are true with energy modeling. You want to understand the physics of how the heat from lighting affects the cooling system or the heating system, and what the balance should be between the different systems over the course of 4 seasons, for example. So there's an assortment of details which you want to bring together for full focus. One of the things that comes up when I'm teaching kids, they can do a roundhouse kick, but they don't know how to apply the power of a roundhouse. They're just bringing their leg up and it makes contact with their opponent, but it doesn't have any power. And there's a sort of a crack the whip kind of snap that you can use for a kick, which essentially doubles the power. So a 180-pound guy can kick with the force of an untrained 250-pound person because they know the technique. And so modeling is a little bit about applying proper process and proper technique. I'll give you a little visual example. There's a type of break in martial arts called the speed break, where it's just one person breaking the board without someone else holding it. And when you this is a pretty stout board. It's a 1x12, and it's solid. And so if I told you had to break it yourself in under a second or so without hurting yourself or anything else, you'd say, oh, that looks a little difficult. And the fact of the matter is, once you've learned the techniques and the process and you know how to apply that knowledge or that power effectively, it's not so difficult. And that's what energy modeling looks like to some people. When they first start, they said, oh, that looks complicated. And so then you say, well, what if it was this complicated? That's not so complicated, but it requires some practice. And then it becomes easier.